Today, National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan spoke about President Biden's approach with Russia. Take a listen.
President Biden takes a clear-eyed, hard-headed, practical approach to this relationship. It is going to be challenging and difficult because Russia poses threats across multiple dimensions, and part of our inheritance, in fact, is having to deal with how to respond effectively to some of these threats and challenges.
Sullivan specifically mentioned the detention of Kremlin critic Alex Navalny. I know you're a Russia hawk. What should the next step here be for the U.S.?
Well, we have to look at human rights, whether it be Russia, China, Iran, North Korea. That was a major human rights violation that took place. I know the president signed a 5-year reauthorization of New START. I wish we had what's called exotic weapons in there, these high-velocity missiles that can come out of Russia. In fact, China as well needs to be brought onto the table to discuss a New START agreement with them. You know, I think we've been very tough on Russia. Sometimes the rhetoric didn't always show that, but I don't trust Mr. Putin, and I don't trust the Russians. And I look forward to working with Tony Blinken. I know he's taken a tough position on this one. On the Abraham Accords, he's been very supportive, and I agree with him on that. I'm a little worried about a return to the JCPOA of the Iran agreement and what the ramifications would be for that.
Well, let me ask you about that, because yesterday Tehran announced that they were producing uranium enriched to 20%, which is close to weapons-grade enrichment levels. This is after President Trump removed us from the Iran deal. I know you had concerns about the Iran deal, but what do you think the U.S. should be doing in order to stop what Iran is doing right now? Would not at least some sort of opening discussion about a new Iran deal make some sense?
Well, I think if, you know, they said to even think about it, they have to come into compliance with the JCPOA. I seriously doubt Iran will be able to do that. In addition, with Secretary Kerry back in the day, I wanted the ICBM capabilities to be on the table, as well as inspections, Jake, which they didn't open their military sites to inspections. It wasn't transparent, and we had no verification process. Clearly, that's led to their production of radioactive material now. And if we're going to have discussions, all those things need to be on the table. One thing is very bipartisan. I talked to incoming Chairman Meeks, and that is, I think both sides, on both sides of the aisle, do not and cannot afford to tolerate a nuclear Iran.
One last question, sir. In the time since Biden has been sworn in, China, which I know you focus on a lot, has flown more than 24 combat aircraft near the self-ruled island of Taiwan. And China passed a law allowing its Coast Guard to fire on foreign vessels. Do you think China is testing President Biden right now?
Oh, 100%. They see a new leader. They hope he's going to be softer on China than President Trump was. They're testing his leadership right now, and I think they're going to get very provocative. Just like when they basically took over Hong Kong without a shot fired, I worry about their military exercises in the South China Sea and in the Straits of Taiwan. Taiwan is vulnerable. Taiwan needs to know that the United States Congress supports them. I passed the Taiwan, Assurance Act to provide security. I signed off on all the military weapon sales to Taiwan. I don't think we want a global war over this, but I think China needs to understand that the United States Congress is firmly behind its ally Taiwan, and we recognize their independence.
Republican Congressman Michael McCaul of Texas, the top Republican on the House Foreign Affairs Committee. Thanks so much. Good to see you.